Hey, gorgeous! Welcome back to the film Frontline. Today, we are talking about a woman who simply refuses to stop serving. Yes, we are diving deep into the brand new Netflix miniseries Vladimir, starring the one and only Rachel Weisz. Mother is officially back, and she is giving us all the messy, unhinged, complex female energy we've been manifesting. If you loved her in Dead Ringers, or if you just live for a brilliant woman spiraling into complete obsession, you are in for a treat. But does this show actually go all the way, or is it playing it safe? Let's unpack the entire thing. Okay, let's get into the absolute chaos that is Vladimir. Rachel Weisz plays a nameless creative writing professor whose life is essentially falling apart, but in the most ironically aesthetic way possible. First off, her husband, played by John Slattery, is currently caught in the middle of a massive #MeToo scandal for hooking up with students a decade ago. And her 27-year-old daughter? Yeah, she basically thinks her mom is totally unevolved and overbearing. But instead of crying into a glass of wine or giving us a classic wronged woman redemption arc, our protagonist does what any of us might be secretly tempted to do when our lives hit rock bottom. She hyperfixates on a much younger, much hotter new colleague named Vladimir, played by the internet's current boyfriend, Leo Woodall. And honestly, valid. He is married to a stressed out adjunct professor played by Jessica Henwick, but that doesn't stop our girl from falling into a deep, intense, and borderline delusional obsession. What is so iconic about this series is that it completely flips the script on the classic erotic thriller. Weiss's character actually breaks the fourth wall, Fleabag style. She speaks directly to us, treating the audience like we are her inner circle one minute and completely unwanted intruders the next. It is highly comedic. She's giving us dry, witty, absolutely brilliant dialogue, right down to capturing the modern panic of overanalyzing a single emoji text from a crush. The aesthetic is totally on point, too. We are talking episode titles named after novels by iconic female authors, title cards that look like classical paintings, and a soundtrack that features absolute queens like Chappelle Roan and Doechii. It's a series crafted explicitly for the female gaze. You see exactly what she sees. When Vladimir rubs a stain on his pants or stretches his arms behind his head, it is so incredibly specific and unapologetically thirsty. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the missed opportunities. As much as it flirts with being a dark, twisted, erotic thriller, it often leans way more into silly comedy. And while Weiss's comedic timing is chef's kiss, there are moments where you just want the show to let her go full freak. We get glimpses of it, like a subtle, scandalous moment during a faculty meeting, but it feels like the writers were a little too timid to push her into truly off-putting or offbeat territory. Plus, it introduces incredibly heavy themes like power dynamics and modern feminism, but kind of skirts around the deep end. It's like it wants to be messy, but ultimately cleans up after itself a little too quickly. As for industry implications, this show definitely continues the trend of streaming platforms realizing that women want to see deeply flawed, morally gray female protagonists. The success of Vladimir proves that audiences are absolutely craving stories where older women are allowed to be driven by pure desire and ambition without having to be the moral compass of the story. So, here's the official film Frontline verdict. Vladimir is a total blast, purely because Rachel Weisz absolutely carries it on her back with a comedic performance that is nothing short of pitch perfect. She commits to the bit entirely, and watching her navigate this midlife spiral is endlessly entertaining. The dedication to the female gaze is something we need to see way more of in Hollywood. Seriously, the way the camera lingers on Leah Woodall through her eyes is a masterclass in subjective storytelling. All right, my one major gripe is that I wish it had been braver. When you have an actress like Rachel Weisz, who we already know can handle incredibly dark, subversive material, you have to let her off the leash. If you're going to make a show about obsession and crossing boundaries, you can't be afraid to draw a little blood. It teeters on the edge of greatness, but plays it a bit too safe to be a flawless masterpiece. That being said, it is still a highly bingeable, snappy, and incredibly fun ride that is totally worth adding to your queue. All right, my Frontline film besties, I want to hear from you. If you were in her shoes dealing with a scandal ridden husband and a totally chaotic life, would you spiral into a highly questionable workplace crush, or would you handle it like a sane person? Drop your most unhinged thoughts in the comments below. I will be reading all of them. And if you loved this deep dive and want to stay ahead of all the biggest Hollywood news and reviews, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from the film Frontline. Stay bold, stay fabulous, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!